Hello guys, I think that we're live now. Good morning everybody, welcome to another video editing session, and today we are going to edit a restaurant scene. So it's going to be a scene in a restaurant. I'm going to give you guys just a minute or so just to download that. If you look in the chat, there is the resources, and there is, hey Charlotte, welcome, right on time Charlotte, nice and early, that's what I like to see. Yeah, so once again, obviously I'll be looking at the chat on my phone like as I edit, so if I'm looking down at that, it's because I've got the stream open and I'm looking at the chat. We're going to be editing a restaurant scene, yeah, like I said, and basically we're just going to see how we go with that, and we'll maybe put a title into it. And there's a bunch of stuff, so the resources are there, and you can see exactly what's in there as well. I'm just going to switch the screens in a second. I'll just get that chat up on my phone just so we've got that separately. But good morning, I hope you're well, and it's Friday, so we've got the weekend soon, so that's always good news. But yeah, I hope you're well, Charlotte, and whoever else is going to be coming in a moment. And let's get down to some video editing on Hitfilm Express. There, I've got the chat open on my phone now. Alrighty, right, cracking. So I'm just going to switch my screens now, and then we'll get into it. And just drop me a message if there's anything you want to know. Just pop it in the chat, and then I'll have a little look at it. Alright, brilliant. So yeah, first things first. If you are joining along, then we are going to open up Hitfilm Express. If you look at the top of the chat there, Charlie, if you look at the top of the chat there, we've got the survey link. So obviously we need to get that survey done at some point. I'm going to repost it later on, but just for now. And then we also have the actual link to the resources that we're going to be using today. And we've got a few different scenes, and we have some ADR. I'm just gonna make a new project here. So I am gonna have 1080p. It's 30 frames a second. The duration's 5 minutes, but that's gonna change. Ultimately, because I know what I'm editing from, I'm gonna change it to that. So although we can set it close to what I reckon it'll be, we're gonna change it anyway. So it's gonna be okay. So if that sounds a little bit confusing, if you just bear with me, then we'll get to that bit. But so 1920 to 1080p, that seems fine. 30 frames a second. If you had shot in 30 frames a second, we're using other footage, so maybe not, but then you would maybe use that. And square pixels, which is generally be okay for this, and then you've got a couple different options there. I think that PAL would be fine as well, and anamorphic if you were going for that like kind of super widescreen. And yeah, we can just press OK on that, and then it'll just load up. I think a bit slowly, but there we go. Hey Sue, welcome to the session. Good to see you as well, Sue. Yeah, so guys, if you're joining in today, if at any point you need to go early or anything like that, just please make sure you just do that survey there. It's just on the, I've left it in the chat there at the very top. It's the second one there. So if you need to pop out at any point, just make sure you just smash that survey out. It should take about 30 seconds to a minute. I'm sure you guys have probably done one by now. But yeah, so we're opening up Hitfilm Express. It's like I said as well, guys, on the Staying Connected session we're here from, like, obviously, I know that some of you might be doing this along with me, but obviously I go pretty fast when I'm doing it just because we've got a 2-hour window. Obviously I try to be as slow as I can, but in the 2-hour window we'll just try to get the session done. But it's, as you know, we said, you know, that means the resources are still there, and you can come back to it and kind of do it at your own pace. And obviously I'm on deck to give you support with that. But yes, so once we've opened up Hitfilm Express, the next thing that we are going to do is we're going to go to import here, as we generally do, and then you're going to go to you're going to go to downloads, which is the top left one here, and we're not going to go into video editing lesson 3 resources because we want lesson 4. So I'm going to click on downloads here, and then it's the top one here, very top, video editing lesson 4 resources. Double click on that, and there we go. I've got my bin here. Well, it sounds a bit crazy to call it a bin, but that's generally what we call it. It's just where you put all your stuff. It's not technically rubbish, but it's our bin of work. and I've got my font here. So this is the font that I want to be using for my title. You don't need to use that, but it's just something extra. We've got a bit of piano noise just to underlay it because we're going to do a bit of sound design. We've got some restaurant ambience to just buff it up, and then we've got ADR. I'll explain ADR in a second, but yeah, we'll put a pin in that one for now because that's a little bit more complicated, but we might look at that today depending on how we get with the time. We'll see how we go with that. So first things first, I'm going to put the music and these ones here. If you're doing this for the first time, it might be wise to install the font first. So what I'd do is I'd double click on the font in there, Mom Cake, and so I'd double click on that, and it's because it's not recognizing the file type, but if you opened it beforehand and then you install it, it should just naturally go in here. It's the same with any fonts. If you've done like a little bit of Photoshop, you might have downloaded fonts before, but yeah, you can install it and it just appears on the list of fonts there. Survey done. Thank you, Sue. I'm happy to hear that. I'm sorry that you're feeling dodgy. Thank you for getting up early to come and join in, and I hope you start to feel a little bit better because I'm sorry to hear that because that's not too good. But yes, so I'm going to put these ones in for now, and I'm just going to press open. There we go, and they're just loaded now in there. Cracking. What I'm going to do first is I'm going to look through the footage first. So as I said today, guys, we're doing a restaurant scene. We're going to edit a restaurant scene, and basically it's going to kind of teach us how to use camera angles to better tell a story, and how as an editor we can utilize that. So we're going to have a look at that. Just while I'm kind of explaining, we saw that ADR thing before. There's a folder called ADR. Now ADR, this might blow your mind, but every single film that you watch, almost, I would say, pretty much has ADR in, and it's basically what it is after you've shot a film, you would record sound on the set, but that might not be good enough, you know. So you'd have you maybe have a mic on the camera, or you maybe got someone separately with a boom mic. But sometimes if you're in a really windy area or so on, there's just no way that you're going to be able to get good sound quality no matter what. So what they generally do is they'll bring the actors back, they'll get them in a studio, and the actors will watch the footage. They'll put the footage on a screen, and the actors will basically repeat their lines while watching themselves on the screen, and that's ADR, and it's used in every single major film. So we might have a little look at that earlier, but I just want to kind of let you guys know that I had a little look at because they've got a completed version of this on their website, the people I got the footage from, and their ADR doesn't look the best, because if we do it, it's bear that in mind as well. It's going to be for practice more than anything. But we'll have a little play of this. So I'm going to stop waffling on, and we'll just kind of have a little look at the scene. It's quite a short scene. It should play through to about 30 seconds to a minute, but we're going to kind of utilize the different cuts to emphasize that. And I'm going to play this now, and we'll have a little look.
For echo, take one, marker.
And action.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
So, what's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Cut.
For echo.
Are you guys hearing that all right? Let me know that you're hearing that, because I just want to make sure. So yeah, she comes out, he sits down. What is it? We need to talk. That's
For
the
echo,
first bit of
take
action.
two, marker.
And action.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
So, what's good here?
Listen,
Cut.
For echo, take three, marker.
He says, so what's good here? Do you know what it is? Let me know what you guys think about the acting in this, right? There's a certain bit which we're going to get to with the waiter, and that's some interesting acting, let's say that.
And
Okay. Sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
So, what's good here?
Listen.
Cut.
Listen.
That's good.
So yeah, it's just this is the wide, and generally a wide shot starts the scene. Usually, not always. Thank you, Sue, for that. Just because sometimes it comes through a bit too loud. That's all. Yeah. So I also just wanted to know about the audio of the actual video, that you guys can hear it. It's not too loud. It's not too quiet. So yeah, as I was saying, usually when you start off a scene, you'll use a wide shot, and that's called an establishing shot. Sometimes an establishing shot can be of like a building or something, but then generally you cut to the wide shot of whatever's happening in your scene before you start to cut in. But sometimes you would start on something closer, but it depends on the situation.
4 Foxtrot, take 1, marker.
I think I mentioned before that when you use a clapperboard and a marker, that's the people use that for 2 reasons. One is to kind of spike the sound levels. So if there's a really loud noise, when you're matching up audio, if you recorded your audio externally but you've got onboard mic sound, you can just match up the sound levels, and there you go. It helps you to be able to kind of match the audio a little bit better. And another reason is just to kind of literally start the scene. You can tell as the editor that the scene starts there as well.
And action.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
What's good here?
I quite like that, right? So I'm gonna put that one in. Just the thing about this as well, guys, the thing that makes this so interesting, I think, is that there's so many different takes of these scenes. So your video is probably, if you do this, and I hope you do, is going to look totally different to mine. It'll look absolutely different to mine because they've simply done so many different takes. They've done like 10 takes for each shot. So basically, you probably going to pick different takes to me, and it's going to look different. And it's also your interpretation of what you think is the most important thing on the screen at that time, which is going to help to tell the story. So I'm excited to see what you guys can come up with.
Listen. We need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are the crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce, or the seared.
We're gonna need a minute.
Cut. Don't move.
4 Foxtrot, take 2, marker.
Right, so plenty of choice then. Absolutely right, Sue. You're not wrong at all. So right, I tell you what, I'm going to teach you guys a new trick that we haven't learned this yet, but it might be helpful in the future when you're using this program. So this is your trimmer. So in this window in the top left, I've just noticed that you guys can't really fully see the video, right? So I'm going to move that down slightly for you. That's kind of hurting my eyes a little bit. Hold on. Hold on, sorry about this. Right. That's it. Sorry guys. Right, hopefully that will help a little bit, because I want you guys to be able to see the scene properly. Right. Is that hopefully that'll be a little bit better. I know that was pretty crazy to look at, but just because I want you guys to be able to see this scene properly.
And action.
Let's try here. So it's relatively wide. So if I press I, that's basically an in point, and you can cut stuff out of this. So if you press the letter I on your keyboard, you see that little red dot there? You might not be able to see it, but basically it's highlighted that part of the video where I've selected, and it's going to help me to kind of drag the parts of that video that I want. So then I'm going to press play.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
So I'm going to wait until he opens that up. I've got a little bit of lag here, so I'm dealing with that. So hopefully you won't, I don't think you'd have that if you're not streaming. Right, I'm going to give it one more second. I can always drag more in if I need, so then I'm going to press O. Yeah, that works. So there you go. So you're right about the way it is acting. Wait until you see the shot of him, Sue. Like when you see the close-up of him, it's so funny. I was watching it yesterday, like, oh man, like he definitely. I hope I don't know. Well, I hope he did get paid, but I mean, that was some intense acting, some pretty pantomime acting, let's say. Okay, yeah, I think it's still kind of. I think you can kind of see it now. It's not really cutting it off anymore, is it? I might turn that top thing off. Can you guys see the scene okay, or is it like cutting it off? Because I want to make sure that you guys are able to kind of see the action properly. Let me know if so. I'm having a little look at it now. Yeah, I think it's not cutting much off, is it? Okay. Right, so I'm going to drag this in. Okay, and then this pops up here. It says the editor sequence settings differ to the clip you are adding. We want to click yes to that because the way that we set up our settings, we set them up for what we think would be right, but maybe they're not exactly right because it's hard to kind of tell. It's better than the girl in the horror movie. Well, I mean, she is pretty bad, but well, you'll see. Wait until you kind of see his scene, Charlotte. Then let me know what you think, because it's I was looking at it yesterday and it stuck out to me like a sore thumb. So we'll see. So when this little window comes up here, you want to click yes to that, because basically if all of your footage is the same, and then you want to click yes to that because it's going to match your footage, and that's what we want. So we're going to press yes, and it's basically saying the settings that you have set are different to what we've got here. Do you want to change them to match what you've got here? And then you want to say yes, I do. And that happens when you drag in one clip. Only just seeing faces, but it's manageable. Yes, I'm gonna try. It shouldn't be that big, that bar. And is it cutting out much at the bottom? I'm gonna give it one more go to like push it down slightly. Just give me a second. If I lock both these. Right, let me know how that is. Is that showing that bar twice? That might, I think it might be better now. Let me know. Gonna wait for that to come up. Let's see. That's better, right? Yeah, that's worked. Okay, all good. Brilliant, brilliant, brilliant. Yeah, that looks much better. It's good. Yeah, because it's yeah, there we go. Right, good, all good, guys. Cracking. Okay, right, sorry, I'm gonna stop waffling.
Hey,
too much in this
sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
So we've got a bit of lag here, but don't worry about it.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
So he goes, hey, sorry I'm late, and then it cuts to him doing that. Then we're gonna look at the next scene. So as I say, guys, the window on the left, you know how I've told you different techniques of how you can cut stuff. We've got the razor tool here. Excuse me. We've got the drag tool. If I wanted to drag a bit more of that, I could just left click on the side, drag it out. And then if you want to just drag stuff in from the trimmer, like you want to watch it on the side before you put it in, you can edit using your in and out points, and that's I and O, and that's a good way that you can do that. So we're gonna have a little look at the next scene, which I reckon I'm gonna go for the one with the guy. So I'm gonna go for this one because this is the guy's one shot, or it's over the shoulder shot. We would call that. We'd call that shot there. If you're looking on the left hand side here, guys, we call that an over the shoulder shot, or OTS. And basically, it just kind of, it's a more subjective shot for the person. It's just kind of closer into them. Let's have a little look.
Right. Camera speeds. And action.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
So, what's good?
I think that it feels a bit far away from him, and that it might not cut as you see, because we're trying to match the cuts. So you look at the one on the right is where it ends, and then the one on the left has to match that, because the next line is what's good here, and we're trying to match that clip together. And I feel like the shot's not tight enough, so we'll see if they did a tighter shot.
Good here.
Listen.
Speed. And action.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
So, what's good here?
Listen.
Cut.
Okay. There we go. That's nicer for me. I think that's going to match better with the cut. And it's still an over the shoulder, but they've changed the angle. They've made it slightly lower, because the last shot was quite
Sorry I'm late.
like a high angle shot.
It's okay.
Here's a little tip as well, guys. There's a thing like you have power dynamics in cinema. So like, if you want a character to look like superior, then you would have them on a low angle. So you would shoot them from like low, like looking up at them, because then that would make them look taller. It would make them look powerful. And if you want to kind of make someone look small and weak, you can shoot them from a high angle, so it makes them look like you're looking down on them. It's like a classic cinema technique. I think, right, so I'm going to put my in point here. So we've got this one in the bag. So by putting my in point in, I press I on the keyboard, and that makes that little black dot there and the red line. And then I'm going to press O when I'm ready to take it out.
What's good here?
Listen. We need to.
Okay, is there any way that I can make that? Okay, hold on. So I'm going to press O. Sorry, I need to press back in this box. Then press O. Oh, it's taking the full thing. There, pressed O. It's registered it. And I'm going to take that little bit in there.
What's good here?
Listen.
So she says, listen. I'm trying to get him to turn back around. Does he not turn back around until she says we need to talk? Because I want to get her on that.
What's good here?
Listen.
Let's see.
Here.
Listen. We need to talk.
I'm just gonna hold on.
Good here.
Right. So he says, what's good here? He's kind of disinterested. Uninterested. Okay. That's going to do for the second one. Oh my god. Oh, what's going on? Right, there we go. Then right click, guys, and ripple delete gap. Bang. And that's the start of our scene. We're going to do title at the end. So, okay, we're going to play this through. It's going to be a bit laggy because we've got a bit of frame drop, but don't worry about that.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
What's good here?
Oh man, this is like next level frame drop this, but we're working with it. Let's see how that cuts. I think it worked alright, right? So it goes from that to that. There's a thing called there's a thing, right, guys, called the 180 degree rule. And basically, if I'm shooting head on, and then I want to shoot on the side, and then on the other side, you can't break 180 degrees. So I can't move to the left hand side, and I can't move to the right past 180 degrees. So there's a line that you can't break. So you literally you're on that line, and you can go, so you can see that this is not 180 degrees, it's like 90 degrees. It's still on that line. If we go past that, we break the 180 degree rule. Yeah, that's it. Yeah, so yeah, it was
good here.
Yeah, it would be nice, wouldn't it, if you could redirect it. So she says, listen. We can watch it on here and it's less.
We need to talk.
What is it?
And you're
Our special.
The specials, oh, it's so funny.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
What's good here?
Listen.
So she says listen now, so that's what we're looking for. So we're going to find her shot where she says listen.
Camera speeds.
Scene forward, take one. Marker.
And
So let's see how her performance is.
action.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
See anything good here?
Listen.
So she says listen now. And that's where we kind of want to cut it. Just poor acting? That's so funny. Okay. Let's have a little look. So remember, we've got our in and out points, guys. So it's I for in if you want to make a cut, because I've showed you how to kind of drag stuff into your timeline here and how to cut using the razor tool that we've got here. But now we're using in and out point, which is I and O, because we're doing a lot of cut matching. So we're trying to match what's going to be on the screen, which is on the right hand side, to what we are trimming on the left. So you can look at the last clip on the right there, and that's where we are going to cut, and we want our left cut to match with that nicely. So what we're looking for is we're looking at the guys J and L sound edits. No, we haven't talked about that, but that's something we can look at. I'll go into I'll briefly look at explain that now. Basically, a J and L sound edit is where you use the sound from the clip before to carry across into the next clip. So sometimes we're going to do a little bit of ADR thing on this, but for example, when this cuts across to here, we could move the sound from if we move the sound from the left hand side, that would be a J clip, and then if we moved it a cut, and then if we moved it from the right hand side, that would be an L, I believe. And basically that helps a lot for when you have a jump cut. If you don't have, because say for example when I'm filming a piece to camera and I don't have a cutaway to put over myself, sometimes I could match the clips, and I could do a J cut. So I will drag the sound across from what I was already saying, and it covers the jump cut. So one way that you can cover jump cuts is with J&L cuts, and that's a really good way to do it. But it's also great for kind of matching sound sometimes. So I could probably do it on this, to be honest. If I've got a moment here where there's not really any sound, but if I carried the sound across from one of these clips, that would be a nice way to hide it. And yeah, because sometimes you get, when you cut from one kind of clip to the other, the sound might jump, and you might think it doesn't. You can tell that there's a cut because of the way the sound is. So a J&L cut is a really good way to hide that, just by dragging. I'll show you how you would do it. So if I press unlink on that, and then I press right click on this one and I press unlink, and then if I just kind of move that sound there, and then carry that sound across a bit,
What's good here?
then that's generally how you would often do it. But like I said, it's really well utilized when you've got a jump cut. A jump cut is when, and you can lead into a new scene, etc. Yeah, no, it's okay, mate. Don't worry about it. But yeah, so like I said as well, the J&L cuts are really good with jump screens. Where basically, jump screen. Is that right? I feel like I messed my words up. Where literally you've got a shot and then you haven't got something to put over that, and it's going to kind of cut into the next thing. You can use a J&L with a sound, and it makes it less obvious that you've kind of cut there right on the same thing. A jump cut is generally where I'm trying to best describe a jump cut. It's where literally you've shot something and it's the same shot but it's slightly different, and it's called something we call a jump cut, and it becomes really kind of obvious that you've cut there. J&L is something we use just to kind of mask that a bit as well, so they can be used for a couple of different good reasons. Just catch up with the chat there. Yeah, J&L cuts are great. It's so cool that features like this now available for the P2. Yeah, exactly. So having something like this, like a free editing software, obviously there's minor drawbacks, but it is it's great that we've got something like this. Yeah, awesome. Yeah, so Wib, let me know if you're still having issues with that, Wib, and I'll try to give you another hand, bud. Photo P is also a good one as well. But yeah, and I think if we look at the difference between the sound, and I think that's fine.
What's good here?
What's good here? Yeah. Okie dokie. Right, so what's good here? And then we're going to get her reverse shot now. So let's have a little look.
Sorry I'm late.
It's okay. It's okay.
See anything good here?
Listen.
So listen is what we want.
We need to talk.
Yeah, and that's also on over the shoulder. You know how we just mentioned over the shoulder with her shot? You can see the very side of his face there on the left hand side. So that still would be a kind of over the shoulder shot.
What is it?
I know you cheated.
Our specials.
So bang, there she lays the information. We need to talk. I know you cheated on me. And that's an intense moment. Obviously we want her part, we want her camera shot for this
tonight,
to be able to kind of
crab stuffed fillet.
see her emotion there. She does look quite annoyed, so credit to her for that acting.
Mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce and the seared rack
We're
of
gonna need a
lamb.
minute.
Okay, so it's going to get interesting now, because basically, unless you're making a conscious effort, you tell a story through the images. So I'm generally, as a rule of thumb, I'm going to cut to whoever's talking, unless I'm trying to prove something, unless I really want to show the emotion on the girl's face or something. So we've got a really interesting kind of sequence here where she says something, the waiter comes over, and then he says something. So there's going to be a few quick cuts there, and it's going to look really nice. Gonna have to go. Okay, no problem at all, Sue. Thank you for joining today. I appreciate that. So yeah, I'm gonna get up to the bit where she says where I know you cheated, and then we're gonna have the waiter come over. But I'm sure, because like as I said before, they've got a lot of different shots, so I'm gonna see if they've got a different shot for this, because I'd maybe like to go in a little bit tighter, just because I know what she's saying is very important, maybe the most important thing in the scene. So we're gonna have a little look at that.
Encrusted with Dijon mustard.
Cut.
Scene 4, take 2. Marker.
Can't wait to show you guys the waiter, because you guys are gonna laugh so much.
And action.
Hey. Sorry, I'm late. What's good? Good here.
Right, and then we need to talk.
Late.
It's okay.
Anything good here?
Right, so I'm gonna go back slightly. I'm gonna get one take of her. Hold on. Yeah. So I'm gonna get one little take of her like this on this angle, and then I'm gonna get a closer one.
Anything good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What? What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Right. That'll do for that one. So yeah, as Dan was mentioning about J&L sound cuts, be a good opportunity there where the waiter kind of comes in. We have a little bit of this sound before we show the waiter's face. We could put the sound from his scene a little bit in, and then we're going to kind of show that scene just after, so that's kind of going to help the transition of the cut a little bit better. So yeah, that would be a good opportunity to use one. So let's see. But yeah, I'm going to drag this in here. Just makes J&L cuts just make a cut less jarring. But obviously when you've got things like ADR, that can obviously help, because it's going to kind of, you're going to be filling in a lot of that sound yourself. Right, okay. So listen, we need to talk, and I'm going to see if there's a closer scene of her talking. Got one there. There you go. That's what you want. I'm much a big fan of like close-ups and stuff, and you can see that they've filmed her on a slightly low angle as opposed to being eye level.
And
Geez, she looks like she's crying, you know, they've made that pretty intense.
action.
Right, so this is how I'm going to do it. We're going to go, listen, we need to talk. Going to cut back to him. What is it? Very quickly. Then we're going to cut to her, and then she's going to lay the information. I know you cheated. Then that's when the waiter comes over. So it's going to look really, really good.
Listen, we need to talk.
This is going to be like a Paul Greengrass movie, this, because there's so many cuts. But we'll see. We'll see. Paul Greengrass is the guy who did like Born Identity, and there's like a million cuts. ADR is basically ADR whip is when I was just telling the guys, whenever you film a movie, I would say that it's mind blowing, right? Because I remember the first time that I ever heard it. But 99 to 100%, well, I'd say 99% of the movies that you see on TV or just anywhere in the cinema, they have the audio that you hear, like the dialogue and them talking, a lot of that is done afterwards, because they film that on the scene at the time, but sometimes you've got a lot of wind and the sound is just not quite as good. So what they'll do is they'll get the actors, they'll put them into a studio, and then once they're in the studio, they'll watch on the TV, they'll watch their performance, and then they'll kind of say their lines again to it, and then it's just so that they can get the sound quality as good as possible. And now it's really funny because if you watch like some Arnie movies from the 80s and stuff, you can sometimes see the blade in ADR, and it can be quite funny sometimes. So maybe next time you're watching a movie from the 70s or 80s, watch their lips, and you'll see sometimes that there's some pretty crazy ADR where they'll just be talking but it won't match fully, or it'll be like they'll be in like some place but they'll be talking really loud and you'll just be thinking like it wouldn't be that loud in that place. So yes, that's that, buddy. And we've got a big folder of ADR there, so we've got plenty of stuff to look at, but we'll see how we do for time. We'll cut the scene together first, and then if we've got time we'll have a look at that. Okay.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are
Nobody cares about your specials, buddy. These guys are having a breakup and you're talking about specials and stuff, man. I've never understood personally, right, why people pick public places to break up with people, because it just seems like I think that people do it because they're trying to like I'm gonna save this, by the way, guys. I think you should always save your work as much as possible, and it's fine to save it here for now. Test 4, let's call it. I know where it is. So Control and S is save work. Make sure you always constantly save your work. Let's have a look.
Anything good here? Anything good here?
Okay.
Listen, we need to talk.
Okay. We need to talk. That's gonna cut there, and I think that should go together quite nicely.
Listen, we need to talk.
Okie dokie. Listen, we need to talk. Anytime, Wib, anytime at all, mate. And I want to get you on this, so let me know if you have another shot at trying to download it. And like I say, feel free to drop me a message again if you're having issues. Yeah, if anyone is having issues downloading it, let me know, and I'll try my best to help you out. When it might be worth doing like an installation video at one point if we ever get the chance, like just of how you would download it. But like I said in the first video, if you watch the first video editing session in our YouTube library, in the beginning we do go through how to download it on that part as well, so it's worth checking that out if you haven't. Right, so I reckon we're making some leeway here, guys.
Listen, we need to talk.
Listen, we need to talk. Does it end on that? And then I want to cut back to him saying, what is it? I know you cheated on me. Okay, so we're going to go back to his scene, but we're going to try and cut a bit closer. Getting there, guys. Okie dokie. zoning out for a second there. Sorry. Okay, let's have a little look. And yeah, we've got some restaurant ambience and things like that. So all that stuff comes afterwards. You cut your scene together, and then you can just kind of put more stuff on it. It's Hitfilm Express with. That's the one. Oh my god, really, Charlotte? That sounds awful. I'm sorry that you had to experience that. I've seen it before in public and people screaming at each other, and I'm just like, oh man, like this is like, you really want to do this in public? It's tough, man. It's really tough. I don't know. Yeah, breakups are the worst. I hate breaking up with people. It's literally the worst thing in the world. Like, there's nothing more awful than breaking up with someone. Okay. Let's have a little look. His shots, there we go. So has he got a closer shot? Yeah, he does. He says, what is it? Then we're going to put that in.
What is it?
I know you cheated on.
It's like a David Lynch shot that it looks really weird because they've chose, like, you know how before I mentioned how they did a low angle shot on her to show that she's powerful. They literally did exactly what I was talking about. So a low angle shot shows that someone's powerful. They shot her. You know, she's got the control now. She says, I know you cheated on me. And they've done a high angle shot on him to make him look weak because he's cheated on her, so on. But it looks almost like a David Lynch. I don't know if you've ever seen a David Lynch film. He does like really surreal kind of movies because it looks quite bizarre because it's like quite close but also high. But it might work. I think we'll give it a shot.
And action.
So press I there, guys, remember?
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you.
This lag makes it so difficult.
Listen. We need to talk.
What is it?
I know you.
Okay. I think there's literally like a second of him saying that. So he goes, what is it?
What is it?
It's really close. It's a very, very close shot. I don't know if it's going to work.
What is it? What is it?
Try it. It's maybe too tight. So, just once again, yeah, wow, Charlotte, that's amazing that you've seen David Lynch movies. I watched Wild at Heart yesterday with Nicolas Cage and Laura Dern, and that's crazy. If you haven't seen Wild at Heart, definitely recommend that one. He won Cannes Film Festival for it.
What is it? What is it?
And then we're going to go to her close up.
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are the crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce, or the seared rack of lamb.
We're gonna need a minute.
And crusted.
It's so funny. Okay. Excuse me. Right, I'm trying to think. Okay, so we're gonna put her thing in next. I can't wait for you guys to see the waiter. It's so funny.
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials.
Yeah, so I'm going to do a during output in a second by bringing the sound across of the wader, but from his cut. So
What is it?
I'm going to try and play this. I'm getting really bad lag, guys, so it might not play perfectly, but we'll see. Oh my god, wow, as if you saw Twin Peaks Wib. Massive props for that. I love Twin Peaks. Really good, weird series. The first series is one of the best series of all time. Second series is not, but it's still great. I'm glad you like that, Wib. That's so cool. Yeah, Mulholland Drive and Lost Highway. Yeah, they're both absolutely awesome. I was watching. Obviously, I told you guys I was watching Wild at Heart yesterday, and I just forgot how weird it is. And I mean, it's a David Lynch film, obviously, but it's even stranger than I remember. And Willem Dafoe's character, Bobby Peru, he's one of the most disgusting movie characters ever. He's just so slimy and vile, and they gave him some like really yellow, horrible decaying teeth. And they've got like so many shots of his face close up with like he's like all his horrible teeth. It's so good, but it's so horrible. But yeah, Eraserhead. I love Eraserhead and Blue Velvet. Yeah, they're awesome. All good movies.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials.
Yeah, because I'm streaming, we're getting a lot of lag. But I'm confident that it looks okay. I'm gonna scrub it a little bit just to see how that's gonna play.
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
Does the director say something though? Because I heard a voice. See, the way that I'm kind of measuring what I can hear is I'm looking at the sound levels here, so I know that's where he delivers his line, and that's where she delivers her line, by these little bumps in the sound. So that's a little tip for you there, guys. It's obviously hard to edit like this when I'm combating the lag. Like I say, I don't think you guys will get that, but because I'm streaming at the same time, it's making it lag a little bit. But we're still okay. Yeah, see, here's a tip for you, right? That scrubbing is just literally dragging the mouse across, dragging this marker here. You see this marker here, Mark? That I've got. Like when I do that, that's just scrubbing through it, and it literally just means you're just dragging it right and left just to look through it. I'll tell you what. What the director did here, which is, he's a filmmaking 101 tip that they didn't do very well. For the first 10 seconds, 5 to 10 seconds after you between when you call action, you've got to tell your actors after action's called, give 5 seconds. Give 5 seconds before you start doing anything. So therefore you're giving your editor enough room to be able to cut between when they call action and when the action starts. Also, when you call cut, you want to give about 5 seconds as well. So you've got that breathing space in between and out. I always, if I'm ever shooting something, make sure that there's plenty of time before and after for each cut. Okay, I think that's essential.
What is it? What is it?
Is it on his cut or her cut? Can't. It's not coming up in the sound waves, but I can hear the director say something. It's on his, I think. No, it's her cut. There we go. Okay, and then remember ripple delete, guys. Right click and ripple delete cap. There you go. Brilliant. No worries. Anytime, Whips. Anytime at all. But yeah, you always want to leave enough room between your cuts. It's a mistake that a lot of people make, and then they get there and then they realize that they're trying to cut something and they've got like literally a second of space, and it's just impossible. It just looks terrible. So always make sure you leave enough space between when you cut and when you call action.
I know you cheated on me.
Our special.
Can you believe the nerve of this waiter to come over at a moment like that? Let's have a look. Okay, so we're going to find the waiter's scene, which is this one, and let's have a little watch of that.
Our specials today are the crab.
Because I've gone so tight, we don't see the waiter come into the frame, but we know that he's there because the sound is what's going to tell us that he's there. So that's why I'm going to use like an L cut to drag his sound across to the other scene slightly, so that you know that he's came into frame. You can hear him there, but it's going to be clearer that way. But generally, if it was a wider shot, you'd see him come into frame still.
The crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce, or the seared.
We're gonna
rack
need
of
a
le-
minute.
Oh, you are.
Look at that! What's the acting on this?
Or the seared.
We're gonna
rack
need
of
a
le-
minute.
Oh, you are.
Oh, you are. I know it was a bit laggy, but you can see how bad that acting is.
And action.
Specials tonight are the seared something, and I'm going to try it again.
He messed his lines up, guys. Did you see that?
Our specials tonight are the seared something, and I'm going to try it again.
Okay. Action.
Our specials tonight are the crab stuffed filet mignon with a peppercorn whiskey sauce, as well as
Yeah, we're
the
gonna
seared
Need a moment.
rack of lamb.
Oh my god. This one, I know why this one is this one's it's not playing very well. It's because the screaming, and also because it's a little bit higher quality than the other clips. Just because I ran them through low res, but I thought this one was already quite low res, but it's still a little bit higher than the other ones, so that's why it's having a bit of a hard time playing it back. I don't, you know, which one of his takes do we use? Because let's keep going.
And action.
All right, find out where does it end on this one.
Specials.
On specials.
Our specials.
Our specials are.
Our specials today are a crab stuffed
We're
filet
gonna need a
mignon
minute.
This guy's you can tell that I really wish that I could show you guys how funny it actually is. It's hilarious. Hold on. It's so funny. I'm gonna play it here. We'll play it in here.
Our specials today are the crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce, or the seared
We're gonna
rack
need
of
a
lamb.
minute.
Oh, you are.
And action.
Our specials tonight are the seared something, and I'm going to try it again.
Oh my god.
Okay. Action.
Our specials tonight are the crab stuffed filet mignon with a peppercorn whiskey sauce, as well as
Yeah, we're
the
gonna
seared
need a moment.
rack of lamb.
What was that? That was like a subliminal message.
And action.
Our specials today are a crab stuffed
We're
filet
gonna need a
mignon with a whiskey peppercorn
Dude,
sauce,
would you go away?
or seared rack of lamb encrusted with a Dijon mustard.
Alright, we don't want any.
I love how they improv it.
And action.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce, or a seared
We're
rack
gonna
of
need
lamb.
Okay, this one here is the one that we're going to try and use. Let's see how it goes. 146.
And action.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce. Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce, or a seared
We're
rack
gonna
of
need
Okay.
we're
rack
gonna
of
need a
lamb.
minute.
Okay. So in and out, guys. Remember, every time that I'm getting something from my trimmer and I'm putting it into the timeline, I'm using in and out. So I'm using pressing I, and then I'm pressing O to get in and out points, and then I'm just going to drag it straight into the timeline, and then that's how we get it. There you go. Okay, guys, let's have a little look. So remember, I said that I was going to drag the beginning of his beginning of his speech into her little box here as well.
Our specials tonight are
Okay. So press I here, so I know. Hold on. I'm gonna do this. Alright, we'll see this. unlink. So I made a cut there. I pressed unlink on this. I delete. Oh, I didn't delete all. Control and Z to undo. Not everybody can be Tim Curry. That's true. Yeah, this guy wants to be. He wants to do like a good camp, but he's. I don't think it's the best, right? So, I love his little eye roll. Okay. True that though, Charlotte. So, let's have a little listen. So that excess noise there, we don't need any of that. So I can just cut that out. And I'm going to press unlink. So, and then, no.
Our special.
Let's see. I want this to fit to the end of there. Right, so.
Our specials tonight are a crab.
See how that works. Hopefully that's not going to be like a jump cut. It kind of works. That might have looked a bit crazy there, guys, but basically I just took the audio from the front of his clip and I put it underneath her. So basically that way it's just kind of, it's going to kind of have his audio carry across and it might cut to him a bit nicer.
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon.
But I'm going to lower the sound slightly because he wouldn't be as loud standing there as he would here. So that might make it work a little bit nicer. By lowering the sound, you can just drag that cursor to the left and then just pull down on that and then make it slightly quieter.
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed.
But yeah, so I'm going to have to lower that now just so it's not.
Are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce.
Then we need to go back to the guy who says we're going to need a minute. But we're getting there, guys, slowly but surely. It's a little bit hard when I can't have playback. I feel like I'm editing a film from like the 40s or something. But we're getting there. Just because of the lag, obviously. Let's have a little look.
With a whiskey peppercorn sauce or a seared rack of sauce or a
So I want to stop there. There's a little pause there in between, you know, where he starts and where he starts again. So that's where I'm going to put the guy saying, if you look at that little mountain there, that's where I'm going to have the guy saying, we're going to need a minute. Okay. Okay, guys. Yeah. Okay, so we're going to go back to the guy's shot, sorry. I think we're getting there though, guys. It's looking better and better. It's 21 seconds so far. I think it's going to be about 30 seconds in total. And, right, so back to the guy.
Crusted with Dijon mustard.
Okay.
4 Delta, take 1, marker.
And action.
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are the crab stuffed filet mignon and whiskey peppercorn sauce, or the seared rack of lamb.
We've got a nice moving shot here. That one would be really good to use. Thank you, Wibbs. I appreciate that, mate. So yeah, that nice little shot that they've got here.
Lamb encrusted with the
We're gonna need.
Because the way it says different lines every time, it makes it quite difficult. So he says "oh," because he cuts them off, right?
sauce, or the seared rack of lamb encrusted with the
We're gonna need a minute.
mustard.
Yeah, so you would need pretty much ADR to overdo this, because that's one of the things with improv, guys. Whenever you improvise a scene, you can do that, but you need to make sure that if you improvise in one shot, like if you improvise on the wide shot, you need to do that exact same improv on the reverse shot, because otherwise it's not going to cut together. So you can improvise, but you need to be able to do that improvisation again, because otherwise when you cut back, it's not going to make sense. That's such a nice moment. They
Four
really
Delta.
ruined that by having a different dialogue to kind of what they did before.
Encrusted with the
We're gonna need a minute.
mustard.
And it's a good bit of acting by him, actually.
A minute.
Mustard.
That's really nice. You know, that look is good. Let's see. We'll see if we can make that work, but we'll have it for some more. We're getting there, guys.
And action.
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce and a seared rack of lamb encrusted.
We're gonna.
Or a
This'll work.
whiskey peppercorn sauce and a seared rack of lamb encrusted
We're gonna need a
with
minute.
Dijon. A minute. I'll be back.
Cut.
Reading. Dijon. A minute. I'll be back.
I do that all the time when I'm editing, right? I'll like lead forward, like I'm gonna go into the laptop. I do that when I'm playing video games as well. Like I'll be playing a video game and I'm like moving with, like, if I'm in a racing game, I'm like moving with the car or whatever. It's just a force of habit. I do it all the time. So we obviously need it before he says cut.
Of lamb.
A
Sack of lamb.
We're gonna need.
See how that works.
a
rack of lamb encrusted.
So, once again, have to cover the. Yo, I don't know what happened there. Yeah, so we're going to do, you know, what Dan was talking about with the JNL cuts. We're going to do a little bit more with that because his audio comes across too quiet. So we're just going to kind of, we're going to unlink that. And we're going to drag that slightly up, not the whole thing. We're going to drag the audio of this along so that we can have a little bit more of that audio. Hold on, yeah, there we go.
seared
Lamb en-
We're gonna need him.
Okay, so it needs to. See how that works.
We're gonna.
We can't have the woo.
seared
We need to get that word out. It's that little cliff there. Yeah. A lot of editing is just patience, guys. It's just kind of going step at a time and just making sure you get that what you need to get.
seared
We're gonna need a minute.
Dijon.
seared
We're gonna need a minute.
Dijon. A minute. I'll be back.
Doesn't really work because he doesn't say seared rack of lamb. He says seared encrusted with Dijon, so it kind of messes up. But I think it's okay.
a seared
We're gonna need a minute.
Dijon. A minute. I'll be back.
peppercorn sauce or a seared
We're gonna need a minute.
Dijon. A minute. I'll be back.
I think it's okay actually. See, yeah, let's try this one.
We're gonna need a minute.
Mustard.
Right, let's try a couple more of his, like, finally.
Please.
encrusted
Last two.
With the whiskey peppercorn sauce, or the seared rack of lamb encrusted.
We're gonna need a minute.
Hold on.
seared
We're gonna need a minute.
Dijon.
I might just put it like that actually.
Rack of lamb
We're
encrusted.
gonna need a minute.
Yeah, that works better actually. And the way I'm going to do is I'm going to try and cross dissolve. So we've got effects. And audio. Just experiment as well, guys. Feel free to kind of, you know, practice and see how it works for you. So I'm putting an audio transition on there. So what I did is I went to effects here, down to audio, down to transitions, audio, and crossfade, just to put a fade on. Yeah, it's a little difficult with sometimes, but once you get the hang of it, bud, it's like second nature. It's just kind of practice makes perfect, but and just play around with it. And the good thing with this is there's no way to do it. There's no wrong way to do it. It's just, you know, putting these clips together how you like, and you're literally just cutting and pasting clips and sticking them together how you think it's going to work.
Need a minute.
Right, so let's have a look at that.
Or a seared seared
We're gonna need a minute.
sauce or a seared
We're gonna need a minute.
Can't be like that. You have to take the clip out because it needs to cut. What we need to do here is we're using these two sound things. We need to use the ADR. I don't know if we're gonna have time to do it in this session, so it might not cut together perfectly. But you guys do have it in the resources, so you would need to use the replacement audio there, and that would be how it would work.
We're gonna need a minute.
Yeah, I don't want to spend too much time on that. That's not perfect for me, but I don't want to spend too much time on that because I could end up spending like quite a bit on that, just getting that part right. So I'm just going to move on, but I might go back to that later and give that a shot. Okie dokie, right. So we get his nice look to camera here, which it's pretty intense. We need to get one from her also. And it's not going to be that one. I want a nice tight shot of her, so we can really see the emotion. There we go, that's the shot, you know.
The crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce and the seared rack of lamb.
So here's another little film tip for you guys. Whenever you shoot anything, like so say you're shooting a film, okay, and this is the scene. We've got this scene here, but we know that I'm, as the director or editor or whatever your role is, that I'm not gonna use this girl's scene for this part of the shot, and I'm gonna cut to him when he's talking. You still would film the entire scene with her, so you're still gonna film her whole scene. Like you're still gonna play out the whole scene with her, same with him. And that's just so that the actors can get into it, and it's so that you have more room when you're in the edit. So you always want to do the full scene, depending, give or take. Sometimes there's exceptions to that rule, but generally speaking, you do the wide shot, film all of it. You do the one shot, film all of it. You do the one shot, film all of it, and then you do over the shoulder or close-ups after that. So that's how you do it, guys. Okay, we're getting somewhere now, guys. We're getting somewhere now.
We're gonna need a minute.
Crusted Dijon mustard. Cut. That's good. We'll get you.
Camera speeds.
4 Apple, take 2, marker.
And action.
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are the crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce and the seared rack of lamb.
We're gonna need a
blah, 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 blah. Okay. One.
Speed.
4 Apple, take 3, marker.
Why did you say blah blah blah?
And action.
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are the crab stuffed filet mignon with whiskey peppercorn sauce and the seared rack of lamb.
We're gonna need it.
Encrusted in
Before I cut on this, give me the hardest mad squint you can give him. Harder, I mean like eyes almost shut. There you go. Now pull it back a little bit. Somewhere between what you were doing and that. Cool. And cut.
That's the final shot. Like that. Don't want it to look too angry though. It's just supposed to be emotional.
Somewhere between what you were doing and that. Cool. And
I'm gonna take the audio out of this one.
and cut.
I'm gonna do something here that might be a bit confusing, but just bear with me guys, right? So that's where all the director talks over there. So he basically kind of, we want to keep this fuzz and atmos because it's consistent, even though we do have ADR for this, but that's a whole nother session. So what I'm going to do is I want to keep that so it's not going to be too you know, inconsistent, or it's not going to be like a bunch of sound then just no sound all of a sudden. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to unlink this. I'm going to cut this part out where the director talks because it's just noise. I'm going to delete it. I'm going to left click on that, left click on that. I'm going to press copy. I'm going to go to this blank area. I'm going to press Control and V, which is paste, or you could go to edit and paste. And then I'm just going to stick that at the end, and then you shouldn't be able to tell the difference between the atmos there and there. We are going to fade it out. And then we're almost getting there. Then I'm going to put a bit of music on, and then after we've got the music on, we're going to put a bit of ambience on, and then we're going to do a title, and then we are good. We can see what our video editing, our restaurant scene looks like, and I hope I get to see you guys do some of these. I know it's a bit tricky guys, but just step by step. Bear in mind we are doing this on Hitfilm Express. I've showed you how to do it on Hitfilm Express. If you wanted to edit this by yourself on DaVinci, if you wanted to edit this on Premiere, if you've got Premiere, then you are totally welcome to. The footage is there and it's usable. You can use it on any of these softwares, so just to bear that in mind as well guys. And we're going to do a nice slow fade out. I personally would have went for a more emotional there. Like, why would, you know, if it's a dramatic movie, you don't want to end on her looking angry, you want to end on her looking sad, and she looks so nice and sad earlier. So I would say that that was a bad decision by the director, but that's just my opinion, you know. I would have preferred to end on her looking really like she's gonna cry, you know. And then it's an emotional thing. It leaves you, you know, because you want to leave the cinema, or you want to leave your computer screen feeling like, you know, like heartbroken. I think because that's the what they want to do. But if you see her looking angry, you don't feel anything from that really. It's kind of, she looks kind of sad, I guess. Yeah, it's nice. We want to make that a nice long cross dissolve. And the same with the music. Yep, and we're going to fade it in. Oh wow, that's a shame that the lead singer from Sweet died. That's awful, man. Is Sweet the one who did Ballroom Blitz? Is that right, Wib? Poor guy. It's cool that you met him though. Alrighty, we're getting there, guys. I would say we are pretty much finished, believe it or not. It's not perfect, I don't think. I would like to do a bit more to it, but I would say for now it'll be good. No. Right, so we've got the video transition there. So anytime you want to get your transition, just go to Effect, down to Video Transitions and Audio Transitions, and then you just want to put a crossfade or a cross dissolve on, and that's all you need.
Hey, sorry.
Beautiful. All right, so next, what we're going to do just to make this a little bit easier is we're going to put some sound effects in. I've got a jazz song here, might be a little bit too upbeat for this, and I've got restaurant ambience. It looks like it's an empty diner, but I think if you put the ambience in, it might give it more of a feel that there's more people there, but then it might look a bit corny, so it's something there for us to try. I think the piano is definitely going to be nice, so we can have that in nice and quiet. So we want to add another video track. So we've got audio track 2. If you were to add a track, you just right click on that part there and you just press insert track, and that'll give you a new track. Okie dokie. And I'm gonna make it like -20 because you don't want it to interfere with your scene at all. Okie dokie. And we're gonna fade it in as well. So we go to effects, audio transitions, crossfade, and then put that there, and I'm going to put this down to -20, -22. So all I'm doing to reduce the volume is I look at this white line and I just drag that down.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce or a
We're gonna need a minute. We're gonna need a minute.
Yeah, one thing we need to definitely do is move that there.
seared rack of
We're gonna need a minute.
seared rack seared rack of
We're gonna need a minute.
or a seared rack of
This is so annoying.
sauce or a seared rack of
We're gonna need a minute.
That kind of works, I think. We're getting there. Is everyone still here? I think people are here. Got where I think they're just having a little watch. Let's have a little look. What's going on there? There we go.
Specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce or a seared.
We're gonna need a minute.
Getting there. I would say we're almost good. I'm gonna put the restaurant ambience on in another track at like -30. Okay. Let's have a little looky. Okay, got the ambience on as well. If I right click on that, is that gonna... So if I go to effects and I'm gonna put a crossfade on the end, crossfade on the beginning as well. Yeah. Okay, brilliant. Okay, good. That's gonna be like right down to like -30. Yeah. Okay.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce or a seared.
We're gonna need a minute.
I wish that her expression was longer. So I'm gonna stretch it out. If possible. Okay, I think we're about there, guys. Now, try not to mess anything up yet. Yeah. Maybe put that up like by like 2. I mean, that would be too low.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
Right, I'm not happy with that, guys. That's good. I'm gonna do a quick title, and then that's it. So we're gonna do one quick title. Remove all this there. Anytime you want to highlight a bit of footage, you just hold left click and then drag, and you can select like that. So if we go to media, new composite shot, and then match timeline, which is fine, yeah. And then we can just press OK. And now I am going to select A and just drag. It's a film on window, so I want it to be the whole thing. I'd say that seems fine. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go to Window, Workspaces, Compositing. Just let that load. Brilliant. I'm going to go to Text here, and I'm going to make this nice and big. 384, maybe 500 even. That's fine. I'm going to find Mom Cake, which is the text that we downloaded. Brilliant. And we're going to make this nice and quick and snappy, so we're going to call this The Breakup. And if I call it The Break Up, outside the text box, so the breakup. I think that looks pretty good. Let's put it in the middle. This one too. I think it's, yeah, could all be one, right? It doesn't need to be separate. And then that, and then this one in the middle here. So these are the alignment options. Got middle, middle, and then middle. And that's what we're going to call it. I'm going to make it a little bit bigger. So I need to highlight it. And make it just a little bit bigger. Yeah, there we go. And that's nice for a title, and that was all it took. So I'm just going to go back to Window, and I'm going to go back to my editor, sorry. And I'm going to go to Window, and then Reset Workspace. So Workspaces, going to go to Reset Workspace. Okay, so we're almost there now, guys. We're just going to wait for this to load. Brilliant. One day it'll crash, and I'll be very, very upset. It's like really big, isn't it? Oh, sorry. Yeah, obviously that's 30 seconds long, so it's like the title's like longer than the actual video. We're gonna make that nice and short, about like 5 seconds. Yeah, so we can just stick it at the beginning. Okay, gonna put it on video 1. There we go. How long is it? 3 seconds long, 5 seconds long. Yeah, I think that's okay. And I'm gonna press Ripple Delete here. I'm gonna drag my beautiful piano music, so the piano music starts at the same time as that. Hold on, gonna move that to there. Drag that back to there. Okay, and now we're laughing, guys, and I'm gonna fade my title in and out. So I'm gonna go to crossfade here. We need to do video transitions and cross dissolve. Okay, and same again at the end here. So that's gonna go out, and then that goes in. All right, and now we are finished, guys, I reckon. Whew. So we're gonna export it, and then that's it. Let's make sure we've got everything that we want. Yep, all good. I'm gonna drag that little thing to like here. Okay, all right, guys, we're gonna press the export button here. And it's gonna come up and it's gonna say, where do you want to save it? And I could say here, yeah, test 4. They're all called like test 1. Let's call this the breakup. And it's gonna go there, and we're just gonna let that export. Woo! And it'll take about 5 minutes, guys. Okay, so while that's exporting, make sure that you guys do the survey, guys. I'm gonna paste it in the it's exporting there. It should take 5 minutes, but I'm gonna go back into here. We're gonna get a break screen up, and I'm gonna copy and paste the survey again one more time there, just so we can get that survey done. Okay, alrighty, so make sure you guys do that survey. Okay, brilliant. And right, so the survey is in the description again there. All right, and I'm gonna go back into Hitfilm Express. I have a degree in digital film production, so not specifically video editing, but in film production in general. Okie dokie. But you don't need one to be able to do this stuff. Anybody can do it. You just need practice, and that's it. Yeah, it's just practice, 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 and you'll get the hang of it. And just keep watching tutorials like this. You do all these tutorials, I guarantee you'll be having a good fun. You know, you'll have a good foundation for video editing. You'll be smashing it. I guarantee that, guys. So just one at a time. If you haven't, you know, if you've done the first one, then move on to the second one, third one. I'd suggest if you're just starting out, definitely do the first one, and then the first one will give you a good understanding of the tools. Then maybe do the third one afterwards, because the third one we went over some like basic stuff, and then I would do session 2, which was the horror film and then I would do session 4, which is the video editing, and then we've got one more next week as well. So we'll see what we're going to do next week. One of the ideas I had was, I don't know if you guys are action film fans at all, but in action movies you see the tooling up scene where they're like getting guns and they're like, and it's like really, really quick. It's like a compression of time. I was thinking about doing that, so we could kind of have like a 5-minute clip and we could make it down to like 30 seconds, and then maybe something else as well, but we'll have a look at what else. I don't know how this is going to cut together, guys, because I'm a bit skeptical about the sound, and I couldn't really see it too much when I was playing it back, but we'll have a look. Fingers crossed. I only got 2 hours today, but if I had more time, I'd have talked you guys through the ADR process and how we would use the sound from the external sound that they've recorded, which is maybe something that we can look at in the future, because that would be really good, because these bits where they're like talking over each other, when you're using the external sound, you don't have to worry about that. So just something to bear in mind there, guys. All good. And we're just waiting for this. It's like 78% now, so it's almost done. But yeah, hopefully it's going to be good. I'm feeling hopeful, guys, feeling positive. Oh, next kill me one. There we go. Live out like a good neck crack. And then we've got staying connected again at 4 till 5 as well later on, guys, so stay tuned for that as well. Yeah, and more on that later, but yeah, 4 to 5 we've got staying connected, so make sure you stay tuned. Okay, here we go. Let's have it then. Right, are you ready, guys? Moment of truth. Let's do it. Okay, the breakup, that's the one. Here we go, guys. Wow. It's a moment of truth. Oops, don't want to choose a subtitle font. I'm going to turn it up slightly. Okay.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce or a seared.
Are we gonna need a minute?
Yeah, it's alright. It works, to be honest. Yeah, I actually think it's fine. I was really worried about that there because I was thinking that, you know, it might not be, some of the sound might be issues. So you could see that we've used the sound from the camera there. We've used the onboard sound, and that's obviously not perfect. They have provided a lot of external audio, so if we did have more than 2 hours, I would have went into that and kind of showed you guys how to do that, but that's something maybe for next lesson. We could have maybe a little recap on that for next lesson and then do compression of time for the second half. But let me know, guys, because I am open to suggestions if you would be interested in learning a little bit of ADR or not. But we're going to watch it one more time, okay, just to see how it plays through, because I know it's very quick, it's only 30 seconds, but we get a bit of a sense of it.
Hey, sorry I'm late.
It's okay.
What's good here?
Listen, we need to talk.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey peppercorn sauce or a seared.
Are we gonna need a minute?
Yeah, that's the one. Yeah, shame some of the act. Yeah, the my main issue with it, if I show you guys, is that obviously if we used the ADR.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet peppercorn seared.
Are we gonna need a minute?
It's when that comes in and then you hear Dijon over it, it's like he's talking over him, and I don't know if he should have done that or not. I don't think he should have, but if we use the external audio, these are kind of things that we could fix. So maybe we'll look at that next session, but if you guys are not really too interested in that, then we could maybe have a look at something different. So just let me know. I'm open to suggestions. But yes, that is pretty much it, guys. Thank you very much. And yeah, I think it went well today. This is something that I know that you guys can do. I know that you guys and as I said to you guys, right, if we look at all of these clips, there's like a million different clips here, and they're all like kind of different. There's like a million different shots, so my shot selection might be different to yours, and because they've played they've filmed the full clip, you can do it a million different ways. I noticed that on him there was like a really nice shot where they move in, and if I knew about that earlier, I might have used that full shot if I could find it. They've even got this shot, which is like a really unusual shot where they've gave him a lot more negative space, and they've done that on purpose to make you feel more uncomfortable. Generally, we'd always have him on the left hand side, so we've got more kind of talking space for him, but they're trying to crush him. They're trying to like kind of push him into that corner. So be careful when you do techniques like that, but there's a reason that they've done that, and it's related to the context. It's because of, you know,
We need to talk.
'cause he's a cheater.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
See, and this is what I'm talking about, you
Our
know.
specials tonight are the crab stuffed filet mignon.
Well, you know what I mean. I obviously, because there's like 30 minutes of footage, I definitely would have used that. So if you look back, that's a really nice shot that they zoom into him. She says, "I know you cheated on me," and then they do this.
What is it?
I know you cheated on me.
But cut to her, "I know you cheated on me," and then we're gonna cut back to him, and then
Our specials tonight are the crab stuffed filet mignon with a whiskey
we're gonna
peppercorn
cut back to the waiter.
sauce, or the seared
Cut.
rack of lamb.
Cut back to the waiter, then cut back to him. We're gonna need a minute. It's really nice.
Fort Delta takes 7, marker.
Thank you, Scott.
And action.
I know you cheated on me.
Our specials tonight are a crab stuffed filet.
Hold on.
mignon.
Don't. Same take. We're just going to continue.
My fault.
And
No, the what you call it? He's the waiter. He's not the best. Like he's he messed up one of his lines. He talks over everybody. He improvises every single take, so it makes it really hard to cut anything in. He's an over actor, so sorry to be critical of that guy, but he's not the best. Like, I feel like he may be like a theater guy because he's really a bit of an over actor. Yeah, so guys, we're about at time. If there's any other questions you want to ask me just before we go, just let me know, because now is the time, because we're about to take off in a couple of minutes. But if you've got any questions about the session, if you have any questions, you know, about video edit in general, just let me know now, because this is going to be we're gonna do that right now. So I'll give you guys a couple minutes just in case you've got any questions you want to get in. Otherwise, guys, make sure you do the survey. I did a link there, so I'd appreciate if you could just kind of quickly whack that in the survey there, guys. He is crap. I know he is, Whips. He is crap as well, isn't he, the waiter? Bless him though. Sure, he tried his hardest, but yeah, he's perhaps not the best. So yeah. But yeah, cheers for doing the survey there, Whips. And yeah, thanks for dropping by, Charlotte. He's trying far too hard to act. I know, I agree. He's a bit of an over actor. And I mean, you guys watched the clip before. That was the thing when I was looking at the footage. The thing that really made me laugh was just him rolling his eyes and walking off. And I thought that that was really funny. But he changes the order. Like, he's like, "Oh, we've got this with Dijon mustard," and then it's like, "Oh, it's like a lack of lamb." It's like you need to get the sit through the same lines. All right, guys, I'm waffling. So if there's no more questions about anything, let me know how you get on. Please, 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 if you guys do one of these, send it to me. As I said, it could be cut a million different ways because there's so much footage, lots of ADR. I've put the ambience in, I've put the music in. You can do this in a million different ways. Yours will look very different to mine, and that goes the same for the horror film as well. So the horror short film, yours may look very different to mine too, which makes it much more exciting to kind of see the ideas that people come up with. And if not, we've got the photo slideshow, which you guys are always welcome to do, and which is the first session. And then we've got some of the green screen stuff on the third session, and some of the titles as well to create some interesting titles. But as I said, this is Hitfilm Express. You can do this in Premiere if you've got Premiere. You could do this in Final Cut. You could do it in DaVinci as well. So it's not strictly tied to Hitfilm Express. This footage can be used in anything. The resources are in the description. They're also at the top of the chat. And yeah, go wild, guys. Feel free to just go for your life. And I'll see you later, Wibs, mate. I think I'm going to take my leave too then, if that's the crack. But we will probably be back 4 to 5. Well, someone will be back 4 to 5. I need to check the chat. It's been decided, but I didn't get a chance to see it. It's either going to be me or Hitfilm and a special guest, I'd imagine. So, okie dokie, thank you for dropping by again today, guys. Really appreciate it. And I think that is it for now. And enjoy your lunch, guys. I'm going to go and get a peanut butter sandwich probably. So, yeah, enjoy your lunch, guys, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye-bye.